Well, Shirley Ramey was a 78-year-old grandmother found shot to death in her home. She was killed in April of 2017 in Hope, Idaho. For years, her husband didn't know what happened. Tonight, police say they have a suspect. A Coeur d'Alene woman is now in custody. The Bonner County Sheriff's Office says Judith Carpenter killed Ramey. Hi, everyone. I'm Jane McCarthy.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Fewer than 90 people live in Hope, a rural community on the east shore of Lake Pend Oreille, so it's no stretch to say that everyone knew Shirley.
KREM 2's Tim Pham is in Bonner County tonight. And Tim, the big question for everyone there now is, why did it happen?
Yeah, really, Jane, that is the big question. Why did this woman do this horrific crime that authorities say happened 2 years ago? Now, what we know right now is that 57-year-old Judith Carpenter allegedly shot and killed the victim, and she's from Coeur d'Alene. And so I asked the sheriff if she has any connection to the victim, and he says it doesn't appear so, and at this time it appears this incident was random. So again, it took investigators 2 years to make a break in this case. 78-year-old Shirley Ramey was killed in 2017. She was shot inside her home in Trestle Road in Hope, Idaho, and was found by her husband on April 5th of 2017. Police had suspects, but all of them were cleared. Carpenter was actually arrested, though, for a road rage incident that same night of the murder all the way in Libby, Montana. There, police found 2 guns in her car, and this was the missing link because 9mm casings were found at the crime scene and down the street at a camping trailer that was also shot the same night of the incident. 2 years later, they connected the dots and sent that gun in for testing.
Without a test match of the cartridges we sent in, there was just no other cartridges to test. And so as the result of further investigation, especially by ATF, reaching out to their agencies, they said, yeah, we have a gun, and so we're test fire it and send it into NIBIN. And it was after that test that those cartridges were positively identified as coming from the same gun.
She's being held in the Bonner County Jail for first-degree murder. Carpenter's bond has been set for $1 million. The sheriff says that he calls this a good day in Bonner County for the community and the family. And KREM 2 has actually done extensive coverage of this murder for several years now, and we have all of that inside the new KREM 2 app. I did reach out to the family, the victim's family, tonight, and they say that they are not ready to speak at this time. Reporting in Bonner County, I'm Tim Pham, KREM 2 News.
Tim, thank you very much. Meantime, we are tracking some breaking news. Level 2 evacuations in place for a fire burning along Highway 260 in Franklin County. That fire is burning between Colotis and Connell. Fire crews are working on containing that fire now.
So far, it's burned about 1,000 acres. The fire is threatening homes, crops, and power infrastructure, we're told. Officials now calling it the sulfur fire.
And lightning and thunder may have rattled you awake in bed early this morning. Take a look at this stunning video from one of our tower cameras in Spokane.
My goodness. According to the National Weather Service, there were 84 lightning strikes this morning, mainly concentrated in the Colville area.
Wow, that lightning is suspected as a cause of this wildfire on the Colville Reservation. It has an unusual level 3 mandatory evacuation because it's just for one house. This is called the Williams Flat Fire. One of our viewers sent us these magnificent photos. It started just after 3 o'clock this morning. The fire has burned 2,500 acres near Lake Roosevelt, about 7 miles southeast of Keller. Right now, this fire is not contained.
There is a red flag warning in effect right now, mostly because of gusty winds out there tonight.
So we want to head straight to Thomas Patrick in the Weather Center with more. Thomas?
Yeah, and the red flag warning was initially issued because of the dry lightning that we were anticipating from last night and early this morning. That came to fruition. Now it's still in effect because of the winds, which certainly is not helping any fire containment at this hour. So those wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour out of the southwest right now. In fact, we've had wind gusts as high as 28 in Spokane and 26 in Deer Park, where we do have some observations throughout the day today. So that, again, not helping any kind of firefighting for today, but the wind should calm down more tomorrow when the weather system as a whole finally exits the area. It's diffusing quite a bit. It's a cold front moving through central Washington. Did actually spark off one more shower that went near the Colville area. But actually what I noticed, you can see some of the wildfire smoke getting picked up on the radar right there. So we'll keep an eye on that. The radar, just another tool that we can use to help out identify any fires if we do see any more in the coming days. But for this weekend, no rain or storms in the forecast. It is going to stay sunny and very hot with temperatures inching into the 90s. But coming up, a comparison from this morning's lightning show to the one that we saw last week. That in just a few minutes.
I couldn't go back to sleep after that. It had scared me so bad. And I don't know, my heart was just racing after that.
Well, many of us heard the noise from this morning's thunderstorm, but one home on Tenfield Lane, just off Freya Street on Spokane South Hill, took a direct hit.
Lightning struck the roof of this house and then started a fire inside the ceiling. KREM 2's Shayna Walltower spoke with the homeowner and got a closer look at the damage.
Yeah, at first glance, when I walked into this backyard, I thought this was a pile of dirt that was just sitting back here. But no, after speaking with the homeowner, this is a pile of insulation that came from the side and inside of the house that had been struck by lightning.
There was a pretty significant flash of light and a jolt. The house shook.
This is what woke Jody Wilson up this morning around 4:30.
It was pretty scary.
She says it sounded like lightning struck just above her head.
I told my husband, I think that hit our house, and I looked out the window and didn't see anything. He's like, oh no, it's fine. Go back to bed, it'll be okay.
It wasn't until about 2 hours later that the couple started smelling smoke throughout the house.
It was scary because we didn't know where the smoke was coming from. My husband, Jeremy, went and looked in the attic, and that's when the smoke kind of filtered into the house.
So they called the fire department, who then confirmed Jody's original thought. Lightning had struck their home and started a fire in their ceiling.
It's right in the corner here. You can see like the wood's all split from where it came down.
Now there's insulation all throughout this floor of their home where crews had to tear through the ceiling to put out the flames.
We're just thankful it hit where it did because, you know, any farther over and it would have been inside the house.
For now, the Wilsons are keeping their noses open for any strong sense of smoke where the lightning could have sparked other flames.
We were just very thankful that we were all safe and able to get out.
In Spokane, Shayna Walltower, KREM 2 News.
Meantime, in North Idaho, fire crews are getting a handle on a wildfire burning south of the Calder area in Shoshone County. Called the Mica Creek Fire, it's burned 40 acres and it is 50% contained. The fire is on commercial timberland, which can pose some challenges.
KREM 2's Taylor Bido joins us live to explain more about the valuable land that fire is burning right now. Taylor?
Well, the Idaho Department of Lands is responsible for managing the area where this fire is burning. It's land that the state lets timber crews have access to so they can do some logging, and the money that the state makes from that then goes to fund public schools. Now, around 80 people are fighting the Mica Creek fire, along with 2 helicopters making drops. It all started last night. This fire isn't threatening any homes or buildings. However, IDL says you might not realize it, but land like this is very valuable to the state. For that reason, they're going after the fire aggressively. As we mentioned, timber sales are a big deal for IDL. With the amount of timber in the state, IDL says that money is important for schools. In this case, the timber was already sold, so it's the logging company that's set to be at a loss here. But still, IDL says they don't take this stuff lightly.
So when we see a fire like that, you know, we know that that resource is going up in flames. Our job is to get as much value as we can out of that land.
Here's something else that's interesting. The fire is burning timber that's already been cut down. IDL has previously said that fires burning in timber slash can pose a challenge because they burn really hot with a lot of intensity. Now, the cause of the Mica Creek fire is still being investigated. However, IDL says that there were not any lightning strikes in that area last night. Live in St. Mary's, Taylor Bido, KREM 2 News.
Taylor, thank you for that live report. Meantime, with that high fire danger in mind, campfires not allowed in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. This is from Natchez to the Methow Valley. Campfires are still allowed in developed campgrounds and picnic areas, but park rangers urge campers to please remember, if it's too hot to touch, it is too hot to leave behind.
Some breaking news now out of Southern California. At least one person died when a beachside bluff collapsed just north of San Diego in the town of Encinitas. Others are hurt, but it's unknown right now how many are hurt, as emergency workers are still trying to free people who are trapped. We'll be watching this story throughout the night on KREM 2 News as well as on KREM.com. A wave machine malfunctioned in China, hurting dozens of tourists at a water park, and the whole thing was caught on camera.
Yeah, this is that terrifying moment at the pool. The tsunami-sized wave came out of nowhere and crashed right into people who were lounging in the pool at the time. Chinese news outlets report that 44 people were injured in this. Faulty electrical equipment is being blamed for this mishap. So that scene got us wondering about safeguards for the big wave pools at Silverwood Theme Park in North Idaho.
We spoke with Silverwood's marketing team today, and they told us this type of accident would likely not happen at their facility. They said if their wave pool ever malfunctioned, the pool would automatically stop the waves.
Right now, the wave pool runs on intervals. The waves run for 10 minutes and then stops for 5 minutes. They tell us safety is their top priority, and they have trained staff monitoring the pools at all times. And we want to remind you that you have until next Tuesday to turn in your ballots in Spokane.
The Spokane primaries are taking place on August 6th, and those ballots were mailed out a couple of weeks ago. Anyone who registers 8 days or closer to an election can only vote in person. Those who need assistance can also vote in person.
We are seeing key races such as Spokane Mayor and Spokane City Council President. There are a total of 24 drop box locations. If you need those, you can find those on our website at KREM.com.